Hey bees, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are making a gorgeous, creamy rose cardamom cleansing conditioner. This conditioner is sort of an evolution of the cream of Earl Grey cleansing conditioner I shared a couple weeks ago. There's three major changes. The first one is I increased the amount of the Cocamidopropyl betaine, which is the surfactant that we use. It's the cleansing element of this conditioner. So I increased it a bit so that you can use a bit less conditioner and still get the cleansing effect, because I found I absolutely motored through the 100 grams of the Earl Grey cleansing conditioner, and I wanted more. So I figured I would make this version a little bit more potent so that you don't absolutely torch through every batch you make. My next change was including some bamboo bioferment instead of the silicone copolymer that the last recipe used. The bamboo bioferment can be a bit tricky to find, so if you don't have it, please go down to the description box and click through to this recipe on my blog, where I have listed a couple different alternatives, things that you can use instead. There's also substitutions for most everything else in the recipe, so if you don't have something, please go down and check there before asking. The last change was including a bit more thickener, a little bit more cetearyl alcohol, to give a slightly more viscous end product. So our oil phase here is only 12%, so you really do want to include a thickener, otherwise you'll end up with a very sort of drooly end product that is quite difficult to contain in your palm and sort of transfer from palm to the head without lots of... So a thickener really is necessary, and if you don't have cetearyl alcohol, cetyl alcohol is a good alternative. Now, because this is pretty much just a normal lotion, just with some conditioning goodness, some awesome for hair sort of special inclusions, and then of course the surfactant that helps everything, cleanse and rinse out. The process is pretty much identical to making a lotion. We combine our heated water phase and our heated oil phase separately, heat them through, combine them, and then blend until it's thick and cool and stable. Add our cool down ingredients, and we are ready to rock and roll. I did have some questions last time about how to use a cleansing conditioner. That's basically an all-in-one cleanser, so you don't need a separate shampoo or a separate conditioner. You work a generous amount of it through your hair, and I do find I tend to need quite a lot, like 4 or 5 palmfuls to really get it all the way through all my hair. You want your hair to be wet already in the shower. Work it through, really massage it into the scalp, and then I'll just sort of leave it as I wash the rest of my body and maybe shave my legs, and then rinse it out towards the end. And I usually do that little squeak test to kind of make sure that everything has rinsed out, and it rinses out really easily and really nicely, and then that's it. It's pretty simple. So simple to make, simple to use. Let's go make some cleansing conditioner. We're going to begin by combining the ingredients for the heated water phase in a small heat-resistant glass measuring cup. So in this measuring cup, I already have 103.8 grams of distilled water. To that, we're going to add 40 grams of rose hydrosol, 4 grams of plant-derived keratin, 8 grams of vegetable glycerine, 6 grams of panthenol, and 8 grams of Cocamidopropyl betaine. Now we're going to weigh this measuring cup without our spatula, and we're going to write that weight down. And this is so we can adjust for any water lost to evaporation during heat and hold. Now we'll combine the ingredients for our heated oil phase. So you're going to need 8 grams of BTMS 50, 6 grams of coconut oil, 4 grams of jojoba oil, and 6 grams of cetearyl alcohol. Once you've got both of your parts, you're going to pop them in a water bath. So this is a wide, flat-bottomed sauté pan that has about 1 inch or 3 centimeters of water in the bottom of it. And I'm going to set both measuring cups in this and go put this on the stovetop over medium heat for about half an hour until everything has melted through and everything in here is dissolved and both phases are the same temperature. All right, so it's been about half an hour and everything has melted through, so we will remove our phases from our water bath, and we're done with the water bath. So now we need to adjust the water phase to make up for the water loss. So pop that on our scale. And in here I have some preheated distilled water, and we'll just top that back up to 582. Give that a wee stir, and then pour it into our oil phase. And now we're ready to start blending. So you want to grab your immersion blender, give this a quick stir with your spatula, and then we're gonna start blending. So make sure you're starting with short bursts so that the conditioner doesn't fly out. If you just dive right in, it's gonna spray everywhere. All right, so it's been about 2 minutes. You notice there's a bit of foam on top. That's of course because there's a surfactant in there. I find that dies down pretty quickly though, since Cocamidopropyl Betaine isn't like a super lathery surfactant. But I'm gonna leave this to cool for about 10 minutes and then we'll come back and blend it some more. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. It's starting to kind of separate a bit up on the top there, you can see. So we need to give this another blend in to keep it all lovely and combined. All right, that was about 3 minutes of blending, and you can see I was occasionally lifting the blender up and sort of pushing this stuff on the top down so that it could get blended in as well. And this is looking incredibly luscious. It's still really warm. So I'm gonna leave this to cool for about 15 minutes and come and check on it. All right, it has been 15 minutes. This is looking lovely. And it is quite cool to the touch now, so we are going to incorporate our cool down ingredients. Just sort of shift this over and we're done with our immersion blender. So I'm going to weigh out our cool down ingredients with this smaller, more precise scale, but I can't put this on there because the maximum weight of this scale is 200 grams and this is nearly 600 grams. So we'll put a wee little bowl here and tear the scale and we'll weigh everything into there. So you need 1 gram of liquid germall plus, this is our preservative, 0.12 grams of vitamin E, 4 grams of bamboo bioferment, and 1 gram of cardamom essential oil. Once you've weighed out all your cool down ingredients, we're going to spoon a little bit of the completed conditioner into the cool down dish and then stir to combine. And pop that back into the master batch. And now we're ready to package this up. For our package, I'm going to be using this 8 ounce or sort of 240 milliliter tottle, so called as such because it's sort of like a fusion between a tube and a bottle. This already just has more of that in it, the batch that I made for the blog. So in order to fill things like this, it's best to sort of put them in a little jar or something to hold them upright, and then I just sort of usually pop something in there to prop them upright. To fill this, I'm going to use a syringe. I did do the initial fill for that sort of first batch with a funnel, but now I can't find the funnel that I used, and I can only find smaller ones that are not proving terribly effective, so syringe it is. And there we are. So I made 100 grams of this for the blog, which kind of filled up like half of this tube. And then I made 200 grams for this video. So that's sort of the rest of this tube and then all of this tube. And then here, there's a big air bubble in here. So I'll be able to use all of this. I'm just gonna go wash my hair right after this video. I'll use all of this right away and then I'll probably tap into this one a bit, but this should be enough for a couple weeks of use for me. For you, it'll depend, on how often you wash your hair and how much hair you have, but it's a pretty decent amount, 300 grams. I don't recommend making really tiny amounts of cleansing conditioner just because that if you made only 50 grams, that might just be like one full use for you, and that's not a lot of payoff for the amount of time you spend making it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Do remember to go down to the description box below this video to click through to this post on the blog where you'll find links to all of the ingredients, everything written out, all the amounts, all the instructions, information on scaling, substitutions, shelf life, all kinds of great stuff. So yeah, definitely a worthwhile click. But yeah, thanks so much for learning how to make rose cardamom cleansing conditioner with me, and I'll see you next time.